What's up guys, Arash Rahbar here, IFBB Classic Physique Pro. We're currently about 14 weeks out of the Olympia. I'm gonna shoot a back day for you guys, start at my house and show you guys what I do getting ready to go to the gym. So I've already had one meal and today's my high carb meal, so you guys get a little bit look at that. I started out already today with 100 grams of carbs from cream of wheat, chicken breast, egg whites, whatever, split between 2 meals. This is my pre-workout meal. Since it's my high carb day, I figured I'd treat myself a little bit, and I made a French toast. So it's a French toast with egg whites, stevia. This is from Trader Joe's. I use liquid egg whites. And to top it off, I whip up some protein powder and PB2 with a little bit of egg white or water, depending on the consistency you want, instead of using maple syrup or sugar-free maple syrup, because sugar-free maple syrup is, you know, not the healthiest thing for you. So I'll do this. I used, for the French toast, I used Trader Joe's British muffins instead of English muffins. They're a little bit on the healthier side. I don't care. All bread is made with flour, right? So if you look at the ingredients here, the first ingredient is unbleached enriched wheat flour, which is a little bit better than a traditional English muffin, but it is flour. Flour is technically not good for us. It digests really quick. If you're someone trying to lose weight, I would stay away from breads. That's why breads are labeled like the devil, because they're all made with flour, regardless if it's multigrain or whole wheat, whatever the case may be, it's flour, and flour is processed and it spikes your insulin. For me, with my body fat, my muscle mass, I can get away with it. I'm gonna eat, my blood sugar will raise, my insulin will spike, and I'm gonna go train. So I'm not gonna get fat from this meal. But for you guys that are trying to keep it in check and you miss eating bread in your diets, and again, all bread, even if it's whole wheat or whole grain, is made with flour. There's a company called Ezekiel bread. They make a lot of different ones. This is the sesame. And there is no flour in this bread. So when you read the ingredients, always first ingredient is what's predominantly in whatever the food you're reading is. Organic sprouted wheat, filtered water, organic sprouted barley, organic sprouted millet, organic malted barley. So there's no flour. I'm not gonna lie, the consistency is not as good as regular white bread. But if you toast it and you spread something on it, it's not bad at all. If you're looking to have bread in your diet and you're looking to lose weight and you're trying to stay away from bread, I would go with Ezekiel. If you're gonna do a post or pre-workout on a high carb day like me, I don't eat these on a daily basis. It's okay, you can get away with English muffin or white bread or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna eat this meal, head over to the gym. I'll probably start working out within an hour after eating this meal. I always take, with all my carb meals, you guys know if you follow me, I always take ALA, alpha lipoic acid. This is the alpha lipoic acid. It basically helps absorb carbohydrates, almost like mimicking insulin. Berberine, also glucose uptake, does the same thing. And cinnamon bark extract. So basically what these are glucose uptake supplements. It helps you absorb the carbohydrates that you're eating in that given meal. The reason, if you guys remember Celtec back in the day, like over 15 years ago, Celtec was super popular creatine supplement. And the reason it was so successful is because it was creatine with alpha lipoic acid and carbs. So when you mix those with after your workout, working out makes you very sensitive to insulin. So after your workout, if you eat carbs, you have a huge insulin spike. And anything you eat will get more absorbed than it would regularly throughout the day, like, you know, 5-6 hours before or after training. So after you work out, you want to take in your carbs, take alpha lipoic acid and your creatine. That's the best, most ideal time to take it. So I'm going to eat this meal and head over to the gym and shoot back for you guys. Till then. All right, guys, so give you a little insight about what I take before, during, and after my training and why. I drink almost a gallon in the gym. The muscles are made up of water. Your body's 80% water. You need to hydrate yourself. A lot of times if you go into the gym and you're training, you can't get a pump, stop, drink a liter of water, and I promise you'll get a pump. So I drink almost this whole thing while I train. Lately, I've been using Dymatize products for many years. When I was younger, I used to buy their Elite Whey. And the way I choose products to use, pre-workout, intra-workout, whatever the case may be, is quality. So like protein powder for me, it's either dessert or it's around my training. And I don't want to use a shitty quality protein powder. I don't want to use just a whey concentrate, because the absorption rate, and also it bothers my stomach. So Dymatize ISO 100, I've never ever had a high quality protein. It's hydrolyzed whey and whey isolate, nothing else. No mixture, secret blends of crap. I've never had a high quality protein like that taste so great. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. You guys try it yourself. Peanut butter is my favorite flavor. It's phenomenal with just water. So after I train, when I'm done, I'll have that. I'll mix it up with ice, and I have it in my bag nice and cold, and I'll drink that until I get home and eat my meal. So that's what I do after. Before, I have it cooling in the fridge. I use the, I'm sorry, it's right here. The Dymatize has a new pre-workout just released. I saw Paulie D post it, so I had to get it. They sent me a VIP sample container of it. It's basically a pre-workout in here that I use: Dymatize, glutamine, L-carnitine, and the Amino Pro by Dymatize as well. So I try to take in, before my training and before my cardio, glutamine and branched chains for sure, so I don't have any muscle breakdown, and I'm always in recovery mode. So that's what I'll take with me. I have my pre-workout, I have my shake afterwards, and I'll have glutamine and another batch of amino after my workout before I do cardio, and that's it. That's pretty much my supplements around my training. And then when I get home, I'll eat, which is going to be carbs and protein. It'll either be cream of rice, egg whites and whey, or white rice and chicken. Either way, I switch it depending on what I feel like eating.
The more you put into anything in life, the more you're going to get out. The more you put into building a business, the more you're going to get out of it. The more hours you spend working on anything, the more you are going to get out. Work pays. Now, for whatever reason, when it comes to bodybuilding and only bodybuilding,
so I always try to start with 5 or 10 minutes warm up, cardio, get the blood flowing, break a little bit of a sweat, just get my body, my core temperature up, and then I'll even warm up while I do my training. First exercise I always do, whatever it takes, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 sets of a lighter weight just to get warmed up.
crush. Don't flow.
So what I'm doing here is I'm not bouncing off the ground. I'm doing what you call dead stops. Put the weight down, control it on the way down. I don't drop the fucking weight like you see a lot of guys in the gym do. I'm building the muscle on the way up and on the way down. So control the negative, but I drop the weight. I let it go completely and I start from scratch on the lift. So there's zero momentum and zero bounce, and it's a hell of a lot harder. So make sure you control on the way down. I see a lot of guys yanking the weight up and plummeting it. And not only is that not good for you, yanking yourself down, but it's kind of obnoxious, slamming those weights, you know?
The more you eat, the more you sleep, the better results you're gonna get. So stop fucking making excuses. Get out there and do whatever the fuck it takes to reach your fucking goals.
supersetting dumbbell pullovers with assisted pull-ups. Of course, I could do pull-ups on my own, but when you do pull-ups like any other movement, you use a lot of other muscles. When you do assisted pull-ups and you're getting your weight assisted a little bit, especially at a heavy weight like me, you're using more of your lats and chest out, chin up, rather than muscling it up with my arms. I'm pulling and leading with my elbows. If you pay attention to my form, I'm very much leading with the chest, which is very difficult to do, especially when you're fatigued on a regular pull-up bar. So I superset the dumbbell pullovers with that. Great way to get insane pump and blood flow in my lats. And then I like to start my workout up with this. Obviously we deadlift it first to get it out of the way, but usually I'll start with this. And on the dumbbell pullovers, if you guys pay attention, I'm touching the ground with the dumbbell. As long as you have that flexibility and mobility in your shoulders, you need to go all the way back. Keep the elbows as straight as you can. Put the stress on the lats. Pull over to above your forehead. If you come over your chest, you're really kind of just resting. Keep that tension on your lats. Get the full stretch and get that pump in your lats. Pullovers are an old school movement that was really done in the early days to expand the chest plate. The plate under the chest, if it expands and thickens, your chest muscles that sit on top will sit up higher. So that was the theory years ago. It's a great movement. It's a very classic movement. So hope you guys like it. Try this superset, and it's a great way to start your workout. You'll feel the muscle engorged and pumped up with blood.
Be amazing.
Alright guys, so back and rear delts is all wrapped up. Doing some cardio. Right now I do about 30 to 40 minutes, almost every day after training. I don't do it on legs. I'm a big believer in HIIT, high intensity cardio, but right now this far out, I'm just doing easy, moderate, nothing too crazy. Cardio, the body adapts to what you do, so that's why competitors always end up doing an hour and a half to 2 hours at the end of their prep, because they become efficient, especially when you're doing just walking or Stairmaster. But your body will never become efficient at all-out sprints, which is HIIT. So at the end of my workout, I'll drink my branch chains, glutamine, and there's some CLA in here. Again, I use Dymatize because they're a big company that's been around a long time. They're reputable, and there's a lot of testing on their supplements. At this stage in my life, my career, I don't want to mess around and put crap in my body. I want to make sure it's pure, and I'm getting what the label says. So with branch chains and glutamine, they make a difference. They make a big difference when you're dieting. When you train really hard and you're about to do cardio, I don't want to get catabolic and have any muscle wasting. So I drink these, aminos, glutamine. I got some CLA in here. They sell a liquid form, they sell the pills. I put the liquid form in here. And I always have this before any cardio session. I also put it in my pre-workout too. So I'm gonna answer some Q&A questions that I get from you guys. I get a lot of guys ask me what I recommend for training split for natural athletes. There's really no difference. I mean, if you're natural, the only major difference that I see is recovery takes longer. That being said, I've been a big advocate of training everything once a week since my early teens. I've tried training body parts twice a week, and I don't like it. Some of the most beautiful athletes are gymnasts, the most beautiful physiques, and they train everything every day. They hit their whole body every day, but they don't annihilate their muscles like we do as bodybuilders. So you can train every day. You can train back and legs 2-3 times a week, but you're not going to train at full intensity 2-3 times a week. Some people genetically can get away with it, some people can't. My experience is blunt force trauma, very, very heavy, intense training once a week. And when I say once a week, I mean your work week, your training split could be 4 or 5 days. You could day one day rest and start your week early. It doesn't have to be on the 8th day. So currently my split is 5 days. I do chest and shoulders, which I never did before, but Mike Camp, my physical therapist, has me doing it. He also trains me in the gym. It's the first person I ever worked with training-wise, and he's been great. And what he's helping me with is little things to prevent getting hurt, to strengthen my weak points and bring up weaker body parts. And when he first told me to do chest and shoulders, I was like, oh my God, are you nuts? Those are 2 huge muscles. But what it's done was help my shoulder a lot. I had a lot of shoulder pain, a lot of fatigue, and I had kind of a shoulder injury. So it strengthened it a lot. And in the beginning, when I was done with chest and it was time to do shoulders, I was super weak. Over 3-4 weeks, I built the strength and I've become much stronger. So currently, again, my routine is chest and shoulders. Then I do hamstrings with light quad, just 1 or 2 exercises, usually 2 exercises of quads. Then I'll do back and rear delts. Then I'll do bis and tris. Then I'll do quads and light hands. So that's 5 days. If you guys don't do the legs split in 2, you can do a 4-day split. You could do what I do, just legs once, or you could do chest and bis, back and tris, shoulders alone, legs. 4 days, 1 day off, 6 days start again. My off days are not religious. I go by how I feel. Right now I take 1 off day at the end of every split. So it's 5 days, 1 off day, and it ends up being after my quad and light hand day, which is great because quads are a huge workout for me, so my body gets to rest and recuperate. Now, as far as how much you can train and get away with it, it's all relative. How much you're eating, how much you're sleeping. There's natural athletes that can recover and train more and recover faster than a non-natural athlete if he's eating better and training more than that other athlete. So it's all relative, but I like those training splits. I like to train very heavy, very intense, very, very basic. I don't do too much drop set, superset. I do some. I implement intensity techniques, but I don't go overboard with it. If you're moving fast, which is great, and doing drop sets and supersets, which are also great, you're not going to be as strong. You're going to weaken yourself. So if you force yourself to lift heavy and give yourself shorter resting increments, and you rest only 60 seconds or 1 minute and 30 seconds, you're not going to be as strong, you'll be weaker. But over time, your body will adapt and build strength. So it's good to have periods of time where you do that, you press for shorter rest periods. And there's also it's a good way to have longer rest periods from time to time. Giving yourself over 2 minutes, not more than 3, and doing heavy lifts to build strength. Fact of the matter is, unfortunately, strength is needed to build muscle. And the reason I say unfortunately is because it can lead to injury. So for you young guys, don't focus so much on getting ripped and 6-pack abs. You need to build muscle and have a good foundation. You need to get big. And the way you do that is learning proper form, getting stronger week by week in the gym, and eating correctly. I don't care if you squat 500, bench 500 pounds. If you don't eat properly to recover, to replenish your glycogen stores, give yourself enough protein and the proper fuel, carbohydrates and fats, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get bigger. You might get stronger, but you're not going to grow and become bigger. And that's the key with bodybuilding. You want to get as much muscle in your frame as possible, because muscle is what gives you the shape and what burns fat. The more muscle you have, the leaner you can stay. The more muscle a person has, the more calories they burn just sitting on their ass, sitting on the couch. So I tend to go off on tangents. I'll keep it basic for you guys. So that's one question I get a lot. Another question I get is how I structure my...
These things run.
Another question I get is how many carbs do I eat? I love to share with you guys what I do, and I try my best to, but it's irrelevant. You have to do what works for you. The more muscle you have, the more food you can eat and stay lean. But as far as how I structure my macronutrients, I don't really count calories or macros. I might in the beginning of a diet, but after that I just go by eye. If I'm losing too much weight or flattening out or getting smaller, I realize I can eat more, so I'll have a higher carb day. So currently I'm 14 weeks out of the Olympia, and I'm probably way ahead of schedule, more than I've ever been for any other show as far as being lean. So I did a little bit of posing. I haven't shown my physique too much in the off season, but you guys got a little glimpse of it, and I'm looking pretty tight for this far out of the show. So I'm eating super clean first and foremost. I'm eating about 150 to 200 grams of carbs a day, and then I'll have a high day. So today was my high carb day. So far I only had 175 grams, but for the rest of the night, the whole day will total to about 350 to 400. I think today will be 400. And it'll fill me up. I get a lot harder and I look sharper and tighter tomorrow, because what happens is when you're on low carbs, the muscles flatten out. They get flat. And when the muscle's not flat, when its muscle's not full, it's flat, it doesn't protrude to the surface. So if the muscle's not protruding to the surface, you look softer. So a lot of times when you guys are dieting to get lean, you don't look very lean. It's because your muscle is flat. Just hang in there. Keep doing the lower carbs to get leaner and leaner, and then when you do a high carb day or a cheat meal, the muscle fills back up with glycogen. I'm not too crazy about the cheat meal the way a lot of you guys do it. You go off and eat junk. It's not great. It's not healthy, and you don't learn your body that well. The way that I'm doing it, my high carb day today, is just the same carbs I eat every day: cream of rice, white rice, sweet potato, and I had some British muffin, English muffin from Trader Joe's before I worked out. That was, that's really it. I'm not going off and eating a bunch of junk. So that's that question for my macros and my diet for the Olympia. And of course it'll change. As I get closer, I'll get more strict. Last year for Classic Physique, I had 50 grams of carbs for Pittsburgh and New York Pro pretty much every day. I had some refeeds, burger and fries when I was really lean, and some higher carb days, but mainly it was 50 grams of carbs. So you got to eat as much as you got to eat to grow for you, and as little as you got to eat to get lean for you. Someone out there might get ripped on 200 grams of carbs. God bless you. I don't see that too often, but if you can, great. One very important thing you guys have to understand, regardless if you're dieting or you're in your off season, is everything always needs to change. The human body adapts very, very easily to things. So your workout intensity, if you're not always going up, stronger, more volume, more intensity, you're just going to stabilize. What you did to get to where you are is great, but you're not going to get any further. So you need to switch things up. Cardio, always change up your cardio. People that do the same cardio all the time, their body adapts, they become efficient, stops doing what we want it to do, making it hard on your body to burn fat, and it just becomes efficient, it becomes easy. If you look at the people in your gym that jog and they run 5-10 miles a day, they all pretty much look the same. You don't see them getting leaner and leaner by day. And the same thing goes for food. It's always good to change up sources of protein so your body will digest and absorb more nutrients. Don't always eat tuna fish or always eat chicken. Mix it up. Chicken breast, lean steak, white fish, egg whites. Always change the sources. Basically understanding the way the human body works, understanding that, we are technically still cavemen. The way that our body works, it doesn't understand that it's 2017 and there's supermarkets and refrigerators everywhere. The fact that we still feel hunger. Hunger is a defense mechanism for early humans. If you guys can ignore it, you're not going to die if you don't eat for a little while. So understanding these things, understanding how blood sugar works, diabetics for instance, and homeostasis, the neutral balance of the human body. If you can understand these things, you'll get a better understanding for why things are so difficult in bodybuilding and in body composition overall. I say bodybuilding, but everybody in the gym, competitive or not, young or old, is a bodybuilder, unless they're strictly training for powerlifting or strength training. when you're training to have a beach body, get a little six-pack, lose weight for a wedding, that's training for changes in body composition. Thus, you are a bodybuilder. All right, guys, just got home from the back workout, and perfect timing. I got my Nutrichef delivery while I was training. So, got my food for the next about 4 days. I get the delivery twice a week. Always fresh, always great. I gotta say, I'm very happy with them. Pretty legit company, you know, like, you can just tell if the quality of the food is good or bad. I've had other companies, and you can just tell with the consistency. And I grew up in the restaurant business and always around food, so I know my food. So now post-workout, today's the high carb day again. So I'm going to be doing about 8 or 9 ounces of lean protein. So I'll do chicken, or I might do turkey. They gave me turkey this week, so I'll do turkey with about 1.5 cups of rice, which is 75 grams of carbs, and a little bit of vegetables. And what I do is I will measure it out on my digital scale, and I'll actually throw it on the pan and kind of saute it. I like doing that because it gives it flavor, kind of burning my food a little bit. It makes it crispy, almost like a hibachi type of meal. So I'm gonna get to that, and I'll show you guys the finished product. So what I'll do is I'll heat this up for a minute or two, just to get a little bit warm. And then I'll heat up a pan really, really hot. And I'll add my seasoning, a little bit of ketchup or tomato sauce, a little bit of salt. I like the 21 seasoning from Trader Joe's. It doesn't have salt in it, so I add my own salt, Himalayan pink salt. I have that measured out here for the day, so I know how much salt I'm taking in. And I'll burn it on this, and it just tastes so much better. Anything you take and you get a little crispy gives it more flavor.